In this video, I'm going to share a gambling system that I put together using a combination of the stuff I've learned about Le Bourget, martingale, risk management in terms of gambling, and I mean just outright like going to the casino gambling, and then what I've learned with Forex trading, and then also an insightful comment left by somebody on one of my YouTube channels a couple videos ago. I can't remember what their name was, and I tried to find the comment before this video so I could show you guys, but I couldn't find it. So if any of you find the comment and you can link it below in this video, that would be sweet. But let's go ahead and get into it. So first and foremost, I don't trade like this. This is not how I actually trade in practice. I have a very structured risk plan that relies a lot on my experience and intuition in terms of trading for the past 7.5 years. And I'm just giving a full disclaimer. I don't actively trade like this, and I'll show you how I actually trade. How I actually trade is I just call every single trade that I take live in my close friends group. And I also share the analysis for these trades literally for free in my Telegram group, along with a bunch of other insightful stuff. I shared the analysis, the markups, things that I think is going to happen, and what I'm looking to do in my free Telegram channel. It's got 51,000 members. This link is the first link in the description of this video. If you want to check it out, you can check it out there. All right, so yeah, but in my actual trading, I don't actually do this. I take accounts with controlled risk. Like for example, this account I just started at $100,000, and I'm going to grow it to $200,000 over the course of the next maybe 1 to 3 months. Kind of depends on when I get win streaks. When I have win streaks, I do really well. When I have losing streaks or break-even periods, I wipe out a little bit of the profits I've made, but I always make more than I lose long term. And I also take small accounts like this one. I'm trying to grow this one from 3K to 6K, then from 6K to 12K, then from 12K to 24K. In 3 trades, I'm trying to 8x the account. I've been known to do a bunch of different type of highly risky bets trading. Fortunately, it's all down to my capital. I have a lot of capital to trade stocks, equities, FX, crypto, but I always spread it out very evenly, and I always risk very small dollar amounts relative to total trading capital per trade. So while it may seem like incredibly high risk, for me, technically it's not, since I have so much capital to trade with, and I'm never really putting any more than 5 to 10K per risk at risk per time at any given trade. So here's the gambling system. Let's go ahead and just get straight into it. So I've tested all this out. What I'm going to do is just explain it to you in simple how it works, and then show you how it works. It's a very interesting thing. So here's essentially how it works. So these are broken into bets, sets, and sequences. So whenever we talk about bets, we will say we place 3 bets. We risk $10 on the first bet, and then if we're right, we make $10. If we're wrong, we risk $20 on the second bet. Then if we're wrong on that, then we go to the next bet, in which we risk $40, right? So this is $40 risk on next bet. And this is called a set. Doing this one thing right here, that's called a set of action. So this would be set 1. Now for set 2, we'll do the same thing, except we'll start with $20. And then for set 3, we'll do the same thing, but we'll start with $40. And the idea is to just win 1 out of any 3 of these bets. And if you win 1 out of any 3 of these bets, you've made whatever your initial risk was, which was $10. So if I'm explaining this correctly, let's say we lose the first 2 bets, but we win the last one, right? So we make $10. That's great. Then if we risk $10 on the first one, we make $10. If we risk $10 the first one, we lose $10. But if we're wrong, so we risk $20 in the second bet. If we make $20, if we win that one, then we've made $20, which is 20 minus 10, because what we lost in the previous one, that is a $10 profit. If we're wrong on that second one, then we risk $40 in the next one. So this is essentially just a martingale, just doubling your bet on the next trade. If we make $40 risk on that, then we'll make 40 minus the $30 we lost. We still came out $10. So then the same thing we'll go for set number 2. So we'll do set 2 and set 3, except we just changed some of the metrics, right? So some of the metrics, we just changed the starting bet. And if we lose, we lose a substantial amount, but we don't really lose that often. So it's like it's a good little way to, try to make a little bit of money. So let's go ahead and do this. So for set 3, we place 3 bets. And this one, in this case, we risk 20 on the first bet. If we're wrong, we risk 40 on the second bet. And if we're wrong again, we risk 80 on the next bet. And we try to win any of those trades. And if we do, we win like the total amount we risk. This last one, 40 on the first bet, 80 on the next bet, and then 160 on the next bet. So you can pause the video if you want, screenshot this or whatever, but that's how it works. Now this whole shit right here is called a sequence. So this is the sequence, like all of this right in here. So like everything, all of these things in tandem are called a sequence. And then we can use this sequence here to try to make some money. So the goal is to just have as close to a 50% win rate or higher as possible, and then just letting the stats play out. So the cool thing about this is, as it relates to trading, you might have a little bit higher win rate than 50%. But let's try to do this, and let's try to make $700. So instead of risking $10 on the first bet, we're just going to add a 0 to that. So $100. Then for all these, we're just going to add zeros to everything. So we're going to start a $10,000 account simulated, and we're going to try to make $700 on this $10,000 account. We're going to see how far we get. So let's, so if you've screenshotted this, you screenshotted this, we got this ready, take a picture of it on your phone, then we're going to get into it. We're going to go to this pair Euro AUD, since this is the one we happen to be on. Scroll back somewhere random, hit replay, and then try to make these bets work. So the cool part about this is, in trading, if you just enter randomly anywhere on the chart, you're going to have roughly a 50-50 win rate. And I mean, like, if you just randomly enter a sell right here, or you randomly enter a buy right here, price is going to either move to the stop loss or the profit target, and vice versa if it's the other way around, the profit target or the stop loss. So in this case, we're just literally going to take stupid trades that, based on whatever we think is going to happen, we'll use whatever the hell analysis, we want. It doesn't really matter. All that matters is that we do, in fact, have a 50% win rate minimum. And so I'm just going to take like sells at resistance, trend trades, market structure trades, just anything that seems to make the slightest bit of sense, and then we'll see what happens. So the first bet, we're going to risk $100. So let's go ahead and I'll do it just for this video. We'll start up here. So $100 on the first bet. And then we'll start the next set with $200. And then we'll start the last set at $400 of risk. And we're starting a 10K account. So $100, let's try to make $100. We just have to win one of 3 trades. And if we win one of 3 trades, we make the $100. So this one happens to win, so we make $100. So $100 bet equals $100 profit. Sweet. Now for the next one, we're going to do our starting bet with $200. And if we're wrong on the first trade, we're going to risk $400 on the next bet. And then if we're wrong on that trade, we're going to risk $800 on that next bet. So let's go ahead and get into it. So let's say we think it's at support. So we just think it's going to bounce here at support. So we buy. All right, cool. Fair enough, right? Simple enough. Just buy at support, sell at resistance. Something really stupidly simple that can dictate an entry. And then to where your profit targets are just reasonable. So 1-to-1. So in this case, it looks like it's going to break the zone. So this one loses. So now we've lost $200. So on the first bet was minus 200. Now for the next one, we're going to risk $400 for the next trade. So let's say we think price is going to do some shit like this where it comes up, breaks, and retests this zone. Let's wait for it to retest and sell at the resistance zone. So it does come to test the resistance zone. So we sell. As soon as it gets there, in reality, I probably wouldn't have actually sold there because it's just literally ran through the zone. There was no pause of the momentum. But let's just say we sold anyway, right? We sell at the zone, hits the stop loss, we lose the next bet. Sweet. So now the next bet, we lost minus 400. So on the last one, we're going to risk $800. And if we win this last $800 bet, then we're going to be in some profit on the whole thing. And if we lose it, then it is what it is. So let's see, let's just let price to come to one of these zones and then we'll buy or sell. Sweet. So we come up here and then we sell at this resistance zone. Let's say we sold right here along the previous highs up here. Space our stop loss out like that far and then have a profit target down here. So we'll let that play out and we'll see what happens. So in this case, it ends up going, sweeps a little bit past the zone, then it comes back and hits the TP. Sweet. So we then have won plus 800 on the last bet, meaning we have made a $200 profit in total. All right, sweet. So now we're going to start the next series, this whole thing, sorry, the next set. Yeah, we're going to start the next set. All 3 of these combined is a series. Each one of these 3 bets is a set, and each individual bet we have just opted to creatively call bet. So 400 there. And we've made a plus $200 profit. Okay, so for this first one, we're going to start the first bet at $400, and then it will increase to $800 if we're wrong, and then $1,600 if we're wrong. So you got to have a little bit of deep pockets for this to work. It's one reason I don't recommend doing this. It's just an interesting gambling approach, right? Pure gambling on anything like a coin flip where you have a 50-50 chance of making money and just accepting you're going to have periods of win streaks and periods of losing streaks. So let's see what happens here. So we're going to just take trades as normal. Support resistance trades, nothing really fancy. So price is at resistance again. So we could sell there at resistance again. It's I know some of y'all might call me a hindsight warrior in the comments, but for the sake of the example, let's just say we sold right when price got there, and then we have a 1-to-1 risk reward ratio. Okay, and in this case, it ends up playing out. So sell at resistance. Straight up. Okay, cool. So now we've won the last bet, and since we risked $400 on that bet, it won. There wasn't really much to that. We just so happened to win the first one. So we have now made $400 profit. So when you add all this together, what's 400 plus 200? 600. What's 600 plus 100? 700. The total profit, or I'll just put P&L, total P&L was equal to $700. So we've made $700. Now the idea would be to keep doing this over and over and over, knowing that for the most part, you're going to make $700 as long as you just win any of the 3 bets within each set. And then even if you're wrong, like if you do this first set here and then you're wrong and you lose $100, you still continue to the next set and to do the exact same thing, right? Risk 200, 400, 800. If you lose that second one, you do the same thing. On the third one, you just start with 400, go to 800, go to 1600, and then tone it down. Maybe if you want to do a smaller starting balance, for example, $10, then $20, then $40. Or you could add it, right? You could risk 1,000 on the first bet, 2,000, and then 4,000. It can just get hairy really quick because if you start your last bet with $4,000 and you lose that, and you got to bet 8,000 on the next one, if you lose that, you got to bet $16,000 on that last trade. And if you lose that last trade, combined with all the losses before that, that's a pretty hefty loss. Again, another reason I don't suggest doing this when it comes to trading. There's just a lot better risk structures in place. But it's still interesting as hell, isn't it? So let's say you have this right here, the first one, and that profits. And then you have this one, the next one profits, and the next one profits. But then the next one here, maybe you lose one of them, and then you lose, let's say, like $900, right? So you lose $900 on one of the next sets. On the next one, maybe you break even, you win one of the sets, and then lose another one, and then win the last one or whatever. So maybe you make 0. And then it can just go and it kind of averages out. What you could do is you could just keep on playing this over and over and over, right? You just keep on playing all the sets, whatever. And you could do however many it takes to get to whatever desired growth target you want for the account. So if your goal was to start a $10,000 account and like take it to maybe, let's say 15,000, so grow it like 50% before you then say that you're going to withdraw, then you'll keep doing this, right? So you keep going. You get the account to maybe 15,000, you withdraw 5,000. Now you're back to your original starting balance of 10K. And if you know that most of the time you're going to be able to grow the account to $5,000, then that's great because you can grow the account to $5,000 profit, withdraw, do it again, 5,000 profit, withdraw, 5,000 profit, withdraw, and then you do it over and over and over. And let's say you make 20K doing this, then you finally have a losing streak where you lose maybe like the whole 10 grand account. You just blow the $10,000 account. Well, you made 20 grand in profits, then you lost the 10K account. So you're still up 10K. And then boom, you know, if you just start another 10K account, you're very likely to make profits overall long term. And what it gets even better is whenever you start exercising discretion and then active dynamic risk management. So for example, if price ends up breaking against you and going the other way, just kind of closing early, potentially adding in profit. If price starts moving into profit, you can add in profit and then protect the first position with a break-even stop loss. And an interesting way that I've constructed my risk structure is to profit a lot from when I have winning outcomes versus losing a little bit less whenever I have losing outcomes. And that, my friends, is why in the Mission FX compounding course, I teach the exact way that I trade. It's this right here, Mission FX compounding course at missionfxtrading.com. It's the second link in the description of this video, but I actually have what I believe is a better way of doing this. Now, you can learn all of this shit for free on my YouTube channel and for free on my Telegram channel. So you don't have to really buy anything from me to be able to learn how to do this. But if you want it all nicely placed into like a very, very nice thing right here and be able to actually book a one-on-one session with me that comes with the course, you can book a one-on-one session with me to chat with me about it. I can help you take a look at your risk structure, the way that you're trading, and see if it can help you a little bit. That you could take a look at this right here, Mission FX compounding course. It's essentially a way that I use to compound accounts and grow them very rapidly. For my last accounts, I've grown them to, the last one I took a 50K account to 100K. And I did this in about 1 month and 2 days, and I called out every single trade I took live. Here's it right here. This was it. And every single one of these trades I took for a month and 2 days, I called out live in my close friends group. But I started, you can see the deposit there was $50,000. I grew it to $56,000 of profit, and the commissions and swaps ate up 6K. So I still got it after commissions and swaps and everything to $100,000 in equity. So I pretty much doubled this account in 1 month and 2 days, calling out every single trade live. And that's the 7th time that I've done it. And I do that by compounding. I do it with my compounding approach. You have to know all the basics. It's not for beginners. I would not buy this if you're just getting started. There's other ways you can learn, like on babypips.com. You can learn for free. You can watch YouTube videos and everything. But this is it right here, my compounding approach that I use to grow accounts over and over and over, whether they're small accounts or large accounts. I've tested out a lot of things. I've learned a lot of stuff over the past 7.5 years of trading. What I found is just keeping things really simple and controlling risk is like one of the best ways to trade. And if you're not doing that, then you are essentially what is unequivocally gambling. And gambling, even when you look at trading with controlled risk and everything the way I do, it's still technically gambling because you are placing a wager on an uncertain outcome. That is, by definition, gambling. So if you want to be slightly less of an idiot when it comes to gambling in the Forex market or stock market or anything, then hit the second link in the description. Check out my website, missionfxtrading.com, and enjoy it. And if you don't want to, like I said, you don't really need anything. You don't have to pay for anything in your trading journey to learn. You could just follow literally everything on my free Telegram channel. Like today I posted this thing on how to help people set up a Discord server to help them track their trades and stuff like that. And then I share all my analysis and trades and everything. My stock trades as well. Literally my stock trades I've just been sharing for free for like the past few years every time I take a stock trade because there's so few. They're all just swing trades on good companies. It's all the same stuff over and over and over. So yeah, check out my free Telegram channel. It's the first link in the description. You can follow my trades and analysis in there, and you can have a lot of fun doing it. So cheers, my friends. I'll see y'all in the next video, and y'all have a great trading week, great weekend, whatever time of the day it is over there. Cheers, my friend.